Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As you probably know, the situation is bad for the Ukrainians in Kupiansk, and the Ukrainian handlers, I'm sorry, not the Ukrainian handlers, the people in charge of the Ukrainian nation decided to issue a evacuation, which is a good thing under the circumstances. I don't think it's a good thing to evacuate your house and so on, but if the invading hordes of your enemies are going to come and do bad stuff to you, you should evacuate. It's going to be a war zone and so on. The idea is the citizens, the residents of Kupyansk area, about 30-some settlements, refused to evacuate. It was ordered a general evacuation from that area, and I'm going to show you where it is. And they refuse. Of course, these results are giving us the interpretation why they refuse. But I'm going to get into that after I show you where that occurs. Here is the area, in the Kupiansk area, right here in Kharkov by the Russians, Kharkiv by the Ukrainians. So here is Kupiansk, the city here, 22,000 residents, I think it has. So the Russians are coming, and the Ukrainians said, well, evacuate. They don't want to evacuate. Right here, let me show you. Associated Press, this is from today, the 28th of 2023. An evacuation order finds few followers in northeastern Ukraine despite Russia's push in the region. Well, why do you think it's so? Why do you think they don't want to evacuate? Well, there's a few main reasons, okay? These guys are using the Associated Press. I will read you the reasons. Put together, I will read you why these guys say, Associated Press say the Ukrainian population from Kupiansk doesn't want to evacuate, even though those bad guys are showing up to cause problems, bad problems. So what happened? Remember the last riots in the French Nation? Remember that one? Let me solve this little thing here. Solved. Anyway, remember when those riots were caused by police shooting that was he 18? I think he was 18-year-old kid, young adult, with that car and so on, that they didn't tell you the whole story. Well, I know someone who knows the whole story, or at least much more than these guys allow you to know. So, the government came and said, well, this is the reason why the riots. And they gave you a narrative, almost everything that was really not the reason. They jumped and dodged and rope-a-doped and bob and weave, the reason. They didn't give you the reason. One of the main reasons, the elephant in the room, they did not mention it, and I will not mention it, but you kind of know which one it is. They told you all kind of things. It's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of this. The main reason they did not tackle. Therefore, they will not solve the issue. The same here in Kupiansk. These guys are going to tell us the reason. I'm going to read you their reason, and then I will tell you what I think is the reason. Two reasons could be why these guys, main reasons. There could be some little ones, like the same in the shooting of that unfortunate kid who tried to run with the car, the police, in France, and then the riot. Somehow it goes, they're connected somehow. If, I don't know, something unjust happens somewhere, you have the whole city then burning down the city. That happens I saw it every day in Romania since I grew up. That's a joke. For whatever reason, those communism, I don't know, whatever, let's move back here. So let's read this guy's reason why they say, obviously, they don't want to move. So they give you here a kind of, all right, they say the August 10 evacuation directive applies to 37 settlements that Russian soldiers occupied early in the 18th month of war. The Ukrainian counteroffensive liberated them in September last year, leaving the invaded countries lifting. That's why they say, I don't think so. I think it's the opposite. Citing a Russian attempt to push back into the area, the Kupiansk district military administration told roughly 12,000 residents to seek safety elsewhere. Only a few hundred have heeded the warning. Among the thousands who haven't, some are paralyzed, this is what it tells, by the daunting task of relocating. That's true, that's one of the reasons. The other one I will mention in a second, or my theory at least. Others say they had considered the hardship of displacement and decided to brave the renewed hostilities instead. So the hostilities might not be as bad as they thinking that maybe relocating, going to the Ukrainian side will be worse than going to the Russian side. That's my take. Many signed documents stating they were staying at their own risk, waiting to be maybe liberated. No, you're not going to hear that here. You're not going to hear the same with the French uprising over there. Their reasons, and now they tell us the reasons that, again, remember, friends, range from the existential to the routine. Fear of encountering poverty and loneliness in expensive, faraway cities. That's true. Expensive, leave it alone. I would relocate. Reluctance to give up homes in which they invested their life savings for a crowded shelter. Correct. Needing more time to tidy the garden or to tend the livestock. Blah, blah, blah. Get your little sympathy right here, which I will fucking not. All right. Main reason that I think it is. I think these guys look at the Russians as liberators. Oh, that's bad? Okay. Do you remember the Second World War? Yes, you do, because these guys are keeping it alive like it happened yesterday. Yeah, we need to make sure we got the people. Oh yeah, that's why the Second World War is like it ended yesterday. That's how alive they keep. Only the Second World War, not the First World War, not other wars. No, the Second World War is, oh my God. You talk about the destruction. I think the dark, how it's called, the Black Plague killed more than the Second World War. Did you hear anything about it? No. Why? It was just some guys over there, 1/3, I think it was, of the Europe that perished. Europeans, what you want? You know what I mean? Be careful. So, remember the Second World War. Remember when the Wehrmacht pushed into Soviet Union and they conquered, they pushed the Soviet army eastward and they liberated Ukraine? Remember what happened? A lot of soldiers and troops, Wehrmacht troops, were received by the Ukrainians with what? You can see it on the videos, with flowers and some of them. And then some of them formed groups, nationalistic groups, to do what? Certain other groups, like the name that shall not be named, and others, and Russians and so on. And then when the Soviets pushed back, remember? After Stalingrad and the counteroffensive, what happened with those guys? They all fled towards Germany. And these guys committed their crimes when they came in charge. The group in charge of the little commissars and all that. Remember those guys? Okay, go check them out. Their names and all that. But it's okay. So this is what it is. So again here, maybe these guys waiting, for some Ukrainians were waiting in the Second World War for those bad guys to come over Red Rover. I'm talking about the Wehrmacht. They were, oh my God, going to come here because these guys are not good to us. And that was a reality. Remember the Holodomor, correct? In 1932, 33, whatever it was, 34, that area, in the 1930s. Holodomor, about what? 8 million or more. Now, I don't know exactly. They change number all the time. They pop, like, Anyway, that's a fact. I don't know, 8 million, 20 million, 3 billion. You can bring the number, I'm for it, The fact is, the Soviets, with the Georgian Stalin, not the Russian Stalin, the Georgian Stalin, and his henchmen, like, look for them. I find their names, their real names. Then you're going to find out what they did. They tried to exterminate it. Okay, all right, they did that. That's a bad thing. So these guys were cheering for the Germans to liberate it. I think that's what's going on here. You have a lot of Russian speaking, that's how they call them, in that region of Kupyansk that are waiting for their brothers maybe to, liberate them. I think that's also, that's the key word, a reason why these guys are not leaving. Together with, they don't want to leave their, but remember, if you think that it's almost sudden death coming from there, I think you're an idiot to stay over there, and waiting for those guys to kill you, rape you, and take everything you got, or rape you, kill you, and take everything you got. That's the other way, I think, or both. I mean, it could be in how is it called, necrophilia, whatever it is. Yeah, you can get into that if this guy. So, all right. So I guess you're gonna head towards west, where you already have everything paid. Bad as it is. That's sudden death and certain death. So, I think that's the main reason. The same with the friends thing. They give you, oh yeah, we don't want to leave. We want to tend our crop. And yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. But the problem is, it's both. It's more than that. I think, one, you don't want to leave because of what this guy says. But on the other hand, if there's a situation where those guys are going to come and cut you down, you're going to leave. That's the preservation instinct, my friends, the self-preservation. But here it is. That's my take on this. And so for me, again, they give you all the reasons why, but they don't want to tell you the other reasons that should be taken in consideration. Even if what I said is not the main reason, is one of the three, I would say. All right, well, probably some people would not like what I say, but I don't give a fuck. That's okay. Why? Because I think that should be considered, and they don't like what I say, not because it's not true or could not be true. It's because they don't like it. No, it can be. We all love Ukrainska. Yes, you love. Some of them love. Some of them don't. From here, we already part ways. Anyway, you'll see, my friends. If you don't want to face reality, you're not gonna be able to solve the problem. If you interpret reality the way you want it to be, make believe, and based on your ideology, like you remember, Russians have a rusty military and they're rowdy drunks and not following orders. They're gonna lose, and they're not, or their economy is gonna drop dead in 48 hours when mighty West is gonna impose the first round of sanctions to Russia. Didn't happen. They did 11. The European Union, nothing happened. On the contrary, Russia is getting better economically. These guys are going down. So what should you do? Stop, reassess. But all that was formed maybe with this intention, destroy Europe, and we're going to take care of Russia militarily. It's going to collapse like that. So we're going to hit both of them. So who could be the third one? Who organizes? I wonder. I think it's Zimbabwe. What do you think? All right. So you can assess reality in your own way, in your subjective way, and then you're going to apply certain kind of decisions. You're going to come with policies that will not solve the problem if you want to solve the problem, which I think here the problem that these guys claim they want to solve it, they have bigger victims than intended. It's like you have a splinter in your finger, and instead of just trying to pull it out, you cut the whole hand down. So you got no more fingers, no more hand, but hey, you solve the problem. The same. In the process of destroying Russia, you're going to destroy the European Union as well. So who could be the guy who profits? I don't know. They're going to give you another justification as they give you here. Well, they want to stand their ground, and or in France, oh, they're just bad. That's a systemic which could be. But don't ignore reality, my friends, if you want to solve a problem. Or if you don't want to solve the problem, be a weasel. Thank you very much for being with me again today, which I don't suggest. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.